These games and routes were so good that I replayed them, even though I have roughly 50 other games waiting for me in my backlog. Starting with my most replayed scenes. And I have to confess, I replayed all the steamy scenes in Olympia Soiree countless times. Because all of them are just too steamy to be true. And it was my first super steamy game, so I was highly impressed by all the steam and then replayed Yosuga just for fun. My now go-to steamy scene replay game though is Jako no Laila. I still haven't finished and still don't really want to finish. Those steamy scenes are not from this world. And I also like to replay the threesome ending. Go ahead, send me to Holiday. Maybe I replayed so many routes this year because 2023 was the year of fan discs. With the Cupid Parasite FD, Wish, Radiant Tail, even if Tempest. So I did like Radiant Tail, but that's mainly because of Eon. And without him I would have been fairly disappointed by the sugar content of Radiant Tail, despite my favorite voice actor even voicing a role. So to celebrate Eon's route and his FD, I of course had to replay Eon's route in the base game. To really get into the mood, ease into the universe, and their wholesome and strong relationship. The bond he shares with Tifalia is just one of a kind. And his yearning for life with her touches my heart every time. And even replaying his route I teared up again. I didn't cry as unstoppably as the first time, but still felt all the emotions and am convinced this is the best route of the game. It's so well written and touching. Oh my god. Both characters seem so delicate and their bond so precious, yet so strong. I hope everyone who plays Radiant Tail feels like that at some point. So that indeed everyone gets the chance to feel like that, Access gave me a digital code for Radiant Tail that I will give away to one of you. Just write me which game you replayed the most or which game you would like to replay the most and write it in the comments, and in 2 weeks I will randomly draw a winner. And to then celebrate the announcement of the Cupid Parasite fan disc, I also replayed my favorite route in Cupid Parasite, which is Shelby. Isu. I played him while I was love deprived from another Otome game with just not enough sugar content. Was practically starving for love. And so I was even more impressed how sensual this game is. Everything is about love and desire. And that's very much my thing. On top of that, Shelby's route is very down to earth, with real conflict, and I love so much how both support each other. Combined with his gorgeous looks and hot voice acting, this route is perfect for a lonely maiden evening. The next replayed routes were a bit unusual as I replayed them immediately after finishing the game, because I just couldn't get enough of it and would do anything for a fan disc. And then decided that is a 10 out of 10 game for me, and the best game of 2023. And this very game is 9 RIP. Ka-ching! Which is not localized yet, but I really hope they will do so. And in 9 RIP you date legendary ghosts who turn out quite differently than expected. This game stands out so much to me with its unique characters, who all have multiple layers to discover. And that also made replaying my favorite routes, Koyo and Koharu, so much fun. Because I was able to discover tiny bits more about the characters. I also want to replay Darling Minami soon, but as I ended the game with his route, it was a bit too soon to replay. But I'm sure, especially in his route, there will be a lot more to discover. So highest replay value for this game. I only played the route of the next character once in the base game and the FD, but it feels as if I have replayed it so many times because I think of this character so often, and he's one of my favorite characters of all time. I also replayed his route while my boyfriend was on a trip and I was alone the whole weekend. And maybe that's also the reason why I felt very much in a real relationship with this character. And on top of that comes his caring and devout nature, his high communication skills and his ability to solve conflicts by respecting the other's opinion, and the deep feeling that he would never give up on his love. And this love is Benkei's love from Biroshana. I know I'm one of the few Benkei fans out there, but if you're also one of us, tell me, I need more. I need to get to know more Benkei fans. But I think not everyone understands his devout kind of love. But for me, this character is almost perfect. He's honest and supportive, yet a bit protective. And above all, he treasures the heroine more than his own life. And oh my, does this make for a beautiful love story. Some scenes made me swoon, some laugh, some cry. and some feel utter happiness being together with this gentle giant. Just a few weeks ago, I actually replayed a common route. Though normally I only play character routes and I'm not usually the type of player who likes common routes. But this common route was just so hilarious and charming. And after finishing the whole game, I decided the common route is the best thing about it. That I just can't get enough of the character interaction. That has just never happened to me before. And this common route is the common route of Kenka Bancho Otome. This is one of the rare cases where I really wholeheartedly enjoy the friendship interactions. I can totally forget about the love development in this game, but the friendship development, top notch. The characters are so immensely likable, well written and perfectly voiced. Perfectly. So much that they almost felt real to me and I felt like really being friends with them. Which is such a precious experience. A full review of the game is in the making, so don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss it. The next replayed game is one of my favorite games. And maybe the fact on how I replayed it could make it my favorite game overall. Because usually when I replay, I play one route, go right into the character route, and often also tend to skip scenes without the LIs, or scenes with a lot of info dumping. So I mostly tend to focus on the romantic scene. But for this game, I didn't skip a single line, even though I started at the very first line in the common route. I even listened to all the voiced lines, when I usually have the habit to only listen to the voice actors I like. So not even voice skipping happened to me in this game. I really sat down like with a good book or favorite movie and read the game back to back again. Didn't feel any pressure, no rush. It was just me and the game and utter bliss. And this game was Nilat Midadi no Tenbin. I can't really describe what is it about the game that fascinates me so much. Maybe it's the MC I admire, the soothing soundtrack I could listen to all day, the topic of hunting down cursed books, the cute characters and their amazing voice actors, the admirable female lead, the mom of the book police. I look up and admire her so much. I guess everything about this game feels like made for me, and I just love everything about it. So far I've replayed Akira, Shizuru and Hayato in the base game, but also plan on playing the routes in the sequel. I will just take my time with it and enjoy that I might have discovered my favorite game. Route I actually replayed 3 times, which is a rare case for me. So for all the other routes, I have mostly replayed them 2 times or 1 time, and only my favorite CGs multiple times. But that was the first route I've replayed 3 times. And that is Yona's route in Tengoku Struggle. This is such a well-written game in my opinion overall, but I especially like Yona's character. He can be childish and stubborn and rash in his decisions, but he can also be very serious and honest and faithful. The conflict he struggled with in his route felt immensely meaningful and relatable to me. And last but not least, does he have a passionate character that grants a sheer steam explosion when he finally gives in to his emotions. I also love the tension between him and the MC, and that as they get to know each other better, they also start to yearn more strongly for each other. Such a passionate and steamy route with a sweet, stubborn character. Even more than 3 times did I replay my first ever Otome route. You all know how the first Otome game is a magical and life-changing experience, and how much of an impression your first route leaves on you. And that was for me Natsume from Ephemeral Fantasy on Dark. I replayed his route 2 times after finishing it, because I just couldn't fathom what just had happened, and was generally surprised about the kinds of stories an Otome game can tell even in a short amount of time, and that such a story can actually make me cry. And in the course of the following 3 years, I replayed his route another 2 times. And every time I ended up crying and loving his character so much. The love development is sudden and still not relatable to me at all. But his character is so interesting and fascinating for me. Of course he looks gorgeous, and I would call his voice actor as one of the most underrated. I just think he needs more main roles besides Sweet Orlok in Pure Fiore. And let this man show his crazy side more. Even 3 years later, does my first Otome game and my first Otome love stay precious to me. As precious as my dear patrons who continue to support me with so much patience and love. Thank you so much. But of course, the winner of the replays, 6 full route replays and countless times of going back to my favorite scenes and every time being swept off my feet, losing myself in the arms of this dangerous man. This is no other than my favorite character of all time, now and forever. Yang from Pure Fjorde. If you've been watching this channel, you all know how much I love him and how I just cannot shut up about him, his endings, his route or his game. All the other characters are boring to me compared to him. So of course his route is the most replayed and the most loved. And even more excited am I to hear his voice in another role written and drawn by the Pure Fjorde team. Because I wonder if there'll finally be a character who will come close to Jan. But even though I don't think any character will ever take his place, I'm pretty optimistic that the upcoming games will become some of my favorites. So after we've dwelled so much in the past in this video, see what the future holds for Otome games in the next video.